Hey everyone, and welcome to America Today. So, if you've been anywhere near the internet lately, you've probably been hit by this absolute sonic boom of hype, confusion, and just chaos surrounding the new Street Fighter movie. Seriously, the internet is a total battleground of opinions right now, and it feels like everybody is picking a side.
And that really brings us to the big question here. Is this thing going to be a brilliant, super self-aware pop culture moment, or is it just a total disaster waiting to happen? Let's try and decode all the hype, the controversy, and honestly, the beautiful chaos surrounding this film.
You know, I think this headline from World of Real just perfectly nails the exact moment the internet collectively lost its mind. The first trailer dropped, and this was the vibe. It wasn't just, oh, that's good, or oh, that's bad. It was something completely different, something wild. And that's really our starting point for all of this.
To figure this all out, we're going to break it down into 5 key rounds. First, we'll get into what makes this movie's whole idea so unique. Then, we absolutely have to talk about the ghost of the first Street Fighter movie. After that, we'll dive into the absolutely bonkers cast, check out the internet's totally divided reaction, and finally, we'll weigh all the evidence and ask, is this a flawless victory or an instant KO? So first up, what even is this movie? Well, instead of some modern-day remake, the filmmakers are throwing it all the way back to 1993, which was like the absolute peak of the arcade craze. Just think about it. Sticky floors, the glow of those old-school TV screens, and that classic sound of quarters dropping. They're trying to capture the exact vibe of when Street Fighter II completely ruled the world. And the plot itself? It is pure classic Street Fighter. You've got estranged friends Ryu and Ken, a mysterious tournament, a hidden conspiracy. I mean, this sounds like it was literally ripped from the pages of the game's old instruction manual. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. It seems like they're trying to perfect it. Okay, so let's move on, because you really can't talk about a new Street Fighter movie without talking about the giant, super campy elephant in the room, the 1994 film starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Its legacy is totally crucial to understanding what's going on right now. So the original movie was, by pretty much all accounts, a huge failure with critics and at the box office. But then, over the years, something kind of amazing happened. It became this beloved cult trash film. People love it because it's so cheesy and ridiculous. The completely over-the-top acting, especially from the late great Raul Julia as Bison, turned it into one of those so-bad-it's-good masterpieces. So here's the really key difference, right? The '94 movie basically stumbled into being a camp classic by accident. This new film, on the other hand, seems to be intentionally aiming for that crazy, over-the-top energy while still trying to be a faithful adaptation of the game. And man, that is a very, very tricky line to walk. And this right here brings us to the absolute centerpiece of the entire debate. This is the thing that has everyone talking, arguing, and just flooding the internet with memes: the cast. This is not just a cast, it's a collection of some of the most random and unpredictable performers you could ever possibly imagine. Okay, first, let's look at the core fighters. You've got a super skilled martial arts actor, Andrew Koji as Ryu, which fans seem to love. Noah Centineo is his buddy Ken. Then you have the respected character actor David Dastmalchian as the big bad, Bison, and superstar Jason Momoa as the green monster, Blanka. It's a solid, if kind of interesting start, but it gets a lot weirder. And this is why people are calling the cast unhinged. I mean, you have a legendary rapper, 2 massive WWE superstars, a masked country singer, and a couple of comedians known for their totally chaotic energy. On paper, it makes absolutely zero sense, which is either pure genius or just complete insanity. But here's the thing. Even though the casting seems completely wild, there really seems to be a genuine passion for the game. Jason Momoa said this about playing Blanka, and it shows he has a real connection to it. You know, he's not just there to collect a paycheck, he's a fan. And it feels like that energy is shared by a lot of the people in the cast.
So, with a 90s setting, the ghost of a campy classic movie, and a truly bizarre cast, how did the internet react? Well, it basically turned into the World Warrior Tournament itself. The reactions are just a battlefield of love, hate, and some really hilarious confusion. Let's just start with the most direct feedback, okay? A lot of people on forums and social media had a very simple, very clear reaction. For them, that first look at the characters and the vibe of the trailer just did not work at all.
Now here's a more thoughtful critique that I think a lot of people were feeling. There's this weird vibe to the footage where, yeah, it has big budget stars and effects, but it also has this certain cheap B-movie energy. It's a really confusing mix, and you're not sure if it's on purpose or not. And of course, you've got the loyalists. For a ton of people, the 1994 film is the one and only. They believe no new movie, no matter how hard it tries, will ever recapture that accidental, lightning-in-a-bottle campiness. It's just an impossible standard to live up to. I absolutely love this quote because it shows how this movie is causing actual, real-world arguments. Calling it a nightmare controller rotation is such a perfect gamer way of describing this insane cast. It's not just a movie anymore. It's a topic of fierce debate in the group chat. And finally, we have the reaction that I think perfectly sums up the hopes of a whole new generation of fans. They see the chaos. They see how completely ridiculous it all looks. And that's exactly what they want. They're embracing the potential for this to be the next great So Bad Is Good classic. They are ready for the ride. Okay, so let's get to the final round and really try to make sense of all this. We need to weigh the genuine reasons for all the hype against some pretty serious red flags that have popped up along the way. And this timeline right here shows the biggest red flag of all, a really chaotic production. I mean, losing your original directors is one thing, but having your studio just drop the film entirely, that's a huge vote of no confidence. For this film to find a new director and a new home at a different studio, that's a really big deal and a super rocky start for any blockbuster. So, here it is, the final tale of the tape. On one hand, video game movies are actually good now. The cast seems genuinely passionate, and they're leaning into a fun, campy vibe that could really work. But on the other hand, that troubled production is a major concern. The cast could just be a chaotic mess, and the shadow of that '94 classic is very, very long. Which brings us right back to our ultimate question. After looking at the whole strategy, the troubled history, that wild cast, and the totally divided reaction online, is this movie destined for greatness or for failure? Is it going to be a perfect combo or a first-round knockout? Honestly, at this point, it really feels like it could go either way. But now I want to know what you all think. Based on everything you've just seen, are you hyped? Are you worried? Is this going to be an unhinged masterpiece or just plain unhinged? Let us know what you're predicting down in the comments. And that's all we've got for this one. Thanks so much for watching America Today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do us a favor and hit that like button. Share it with a friend who's deep in this debate, and definitely subscribe for more deep dives into all the topics that have everyone talking. We'll see you next time.